The jump failed. We're still in Earth orbit, but losing altitude rapidly.
Not long ago, we were prepared to fold space and explore our universe. But something went terribly wrong. We ripped a hole in space, and it emerged. The melding. And everything changed. 5 years have passed. Earth as we know it is no more. Almost completely rewritten by the melding. This new world holds many dangers, including them. The Chosen. A race spawned by the melding to destroy us. I'm Admiral Nostromo, the leader of the Accord, and I need elite soldiers like you to join the Ares Initiative. You'll have access to 5 battle frame classes, each with their own strengths. Assault. Dreadnought. Biotech. Recon. Or engineer. Fight isn't gonna be easy. We've got the battle frames to stop them, if you have the will. Trust in your fellow soldiers. Alone you will be heroes, but together you will be legends. The choice is up to you. Are you ready?
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Firefall Live. I'm Frank Lettieri, aka Faded Pez, Community Programs Manager here at Red 5 Studios, and we have a great show for you today. Oh, man. No, Matt's shaking his head no. We have the Return of the King. I was going to make a whole, Return of the King trailer thing that we could use as an intro instead of that. But Phobos is joining us today. He's now a producer. If you don't remember, he's our former community manager. Our latest lead community manager.
Hello.
Brandon's here. And Sarah, Destroyer of Worlds. That's her title now. It's Destroyer of Worlds. How you doing, Matt?
I'm doing well.
It's been a long time since you've been on the show
It has.
with
I was
us.
trying to think back when the last time I was on the show. I think it was November.
I think it was November.
Whoa.
Jeez.
It's
November.
been almost a year since I've been on the show.
You've ditched me.
Yeah. Well, you deserved it.
I deserved it. Sorry, bro.
So yeah, it's been a really long time, but it's good to be back.
So how's life as a producer been for you?
Busy.
Busy.
There's a lot going on. We launched a game since
Well-
the last time I was on here.
FYI.
FYI, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but it's out there. It's out there. We've done quite a lot since the last time I was on the show. So
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to taking questions again. I haven't really answered a lot of questions and done anything public in a while.
Yeah.
Been kind of hidden away and working.
Well, anything public besides streaking?
That's
He's been streaking a
I
lot.
think I wear the mask. Nobody can tell, but thanks, Sarah.
way to go, Sarah.
No problem.
Facebook stuff stays private.
Watch for our next
What
caption
happens in
this.
Vegas stays in Vegas.
What happens in Vegas stays on Twitter.
Yep.
But yeah, we are going to be taking some questions with you. We had a list that I pulled from the forums, and we're also going to try this whole TeamSpeak thing again.
Yay!
It's been a hot
Cross
minute.
fingers.
Yeah, cross your fingers. It works. It doesn't want to work. It's pretty moody, so you got to go up back there and give it some wine,
Talk
talk nicely to it, take it to a nice dinner. Maybe
That's
watch,
what I was doing wrong.
It's a finicky beast that the audio on that machine. But first, we're gonna get into some hot discussions. So we're gonna change up the structure a little bit. We're gonna do some hot discussions. So what you guys are talking about. Then we're gonna do some questions. Then we're gonna do the news, and then we're gonna do the rest. See how you like that. But so the first thing that people noticed, or what you linked to me yesterday actually, was the jump pad thing.
Yeah.
And apparently there's a bug with those jump pads.
Yeah.
Where
Point your camera down, right?
if you point your camera down, it just launches you forward
Yeah.
really fast.
Yeah.
It's not supposed to do that.
No.
Jinx.
No. No, that's not supposed to happen. So that'll probably be fixed.
Yeah. But the cooldown removal was intentional.
Yes.
So there's no cooldown to throw it down. So
Yes.
that is intentional.
And I don't think we're changing that.
Well,
Maybe.
Maybe.
Ooh.
it's up for design discussion.
It's not working the way it's supposed to.
Yeah.
But for
Everyone's
now,
like,
enjoy.
"No." I
Yeah,
know.
no, it's fun. We don't like removing fun things,
Yeah.
but in this case, it's a little abusive because you can move really fast. If you do.
Yes.
So it kind of sucks because it's one of those fun things, kind of like infinite gliders when they were in the game.
Yeah.
People were like,
It was a lot of fun.
"Whee!" It's a lot of fun, but it kind of breaks the game.
was a lot of fun.
Thunder bumping, a lot of fun, but it kind of broke the game. So, yeah, there's sometimes we had to remove those things.
Thunder bumping.
Yeah.
Did you ever see a thunder bumping video?
No.
It was when you would put a Thunderdome down, or you spawn an LGV, put a Thunderdome down
Where they were clipping each other.
where they were clipping each other, so the Thunderdome's going across the middle of the LGV, and then you get in the LGV and it launches you.
What?
The physics engine freaks out and it just starts shaking and then it's pretty.
Science.
Yeah, exactly. That's basically any game you can tell it has havoc physics because if something weird happens, you start shaking and then it flings you. That's how havoc, instead of just like not moving you at all, like you would expect a bug to, it's like, nope, I don't know what to do. Ah! And you go flying.
I kind of want to do that in real life.
We can all try it. We can all shake you and then throw you.
So yeah, those are all bugs. Anytime you see yourself kind of wiggling really fast,
And-
get ready for the fling. Or death. Sometimes it just kills you because it's like,
There was also a staircase in Copacabana where you could just put your LGV down and get in it, and it would just like flip you over to Broken Shores.
What?
Yeah,
love it.
same concept.
Well, and someone said so much for internal testing. That's not fair. We have a huge, amazing QA team, but they're not always going to think like, what if I look straight down at the jump pad? Then what's going to happen? I mean, they try.
They
and
should
do.
now, and they will now.
They will in the future.
yeah, I mean, that's how bugs are found. You find a bug and you add it to your test case.
It's
Yeah.
kind of like another one that's, well, back in the day was like we weren't thinking about throwing gravity field grenade at the Sin Tower
Or people.
or
Yeah.
making it land
Yeah.
on people. It
So-
was supposed to land on an object,
We can't always catch everything.
on geometry.
Yeah.
Anyways, another one that I see going around a lot is the brineworm goo, which I forgot to bring up last week. It seems like I had Adrian right there.
Yeah, that would have been a perfect time to talk about it.
Yeah, but it seems like there aren't ambient spawns of brineworms. You can get them for Ares jobs, which is where I've gotten all my brineworm goo from. But there's no ambient spawns, so I can't get brineworm goo. So yeah, well, that's something we're probably gonna have to a look at so that you can get brineworm goo for your sticky grenade launchers.
Where does brownworm goo come from? What kind of goo is it?
I don't even want to guess.
You do want to guess. You're
Can
just trying to be professional. But I'm back on the show. It's time
Enlighten
to
us,
take it down
Matt.
a notch.
Bringing us back.
Enlighten us, Matt. Where does the brine goo come from?
Just use your imaginations.
Maybe it's brain goo.
It's the snot. That's what cream says.
Sure, thanks, Cream. Okay, moving on.
It's not. Moving on. Wait, that's a good way to end the subject. Open world PvP. always a big topic. Always a lot of stuff to talk about with open world PvP, whether it be balance or one of the big things. So Zwack posted a thread that I liked, and I commented in there and had a short discussion with people in there. But you know, things that they'd like to see. So more rewards for holding a base, defending a base. I did speak to Scott on this, and he said that we are going to be putting in stuff so that you get rewarded, including vouchers, not
just equipment.
yeah, not just stuff or resources. But there's also a lot of bugs with PvP, which I think we're fixing a lot of them in the next patch.
Some will be fixed in the next patch. We have a fix that's in internal testing right now that we basically rewrote the entire back end of open world PvP, like how outposts work and everything. Not only did it reduce the code base by thousands of lines of code, but it also cleaned up a lot of the bugs that we were seeing. So and we'll make it easier to identify new bugs because it's now better commented and everything. Nice. So it took time. It came in really hot right before launch, but it was one of those launch features that we wanted to have. It looked good internally, but when you throw hundreds of people at it versus when you throw 50 people at it, completely changes the dynamic of how things work. So new bugs are found, they're getting fixed, and then this patch will have a lot of them, but the next patch will have even more because it's the complete rewrite. But we don't want to ship a complete rewrite kind of on the fly.
Right.
Why not?
It could cause all new problems that we don't even know about. So.
And what's great is PTS is back up, so we can throw it there for all of you to jump on and test, which gives us that external load of players playing on it. So make sure to jump on PTS. You can now level up instantly to 40, get a ton of epic weapons and stuff, so it makes it really easy to test and get in there and have fun too. So.
Yeah. So confirmed, we reduced the PvP code base to 3 lines.
It's 3 lines, yep.
3 lines of code.
If Phobos equals yes, win.
That's 2 lines. Oh.
You have to end the...
You have to end it, sorry.
Squirrely race, sorry.
Sorry. God. But yeah, there's also balance issues, which...
Always on.
Always stuff we're looking at. And we're taking in feedback and passing it over to the people in charge of these decisions, and they're looking at it objectively and making decisions based on the feedback. So it's something we're always going to be doing.
Yep.
Always.
Never ends.
Never ends. So, I mean, and that's kind of jumping ahead, but some of the other ideas that came in there was like being able to see who's on what team.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good idea.
So one of the things that broke right before launch, and the reason one of the things that the rewrite will help fix is the tab screen. We used to have tabs where you could load it up and see, you know, who killed people,
stats,
who's on what team, what's all the stats. That broke right before launch, and we didn't have time to fix it. And then all the other problems started happening, so we focused on those fixes, so we couldn't fix this other thing. So now that we've got a lot of those bug fixes done, we can go back and start adding back in those missing features. Like a tab screen, it'll show you who's on whose team, who got the most kills in the zone currently that's online. Start doing all those kind of things. So cool.
Yeah, I mean that's another thing is stats. So stats are good to have. I saw a lot of people mention that they don't want us to track stats because then we're moving more towards an arena PvP. I disagree with that just because
stats
like
are stats.
Exactly, it's just showing like who's dying more, who's completing more objectives, who's thumping more, who's gained the most resources.
Like, who's your nemesis? Who are you really? Who are you a nemesis of? So you've killed them the most times. They've killed you the most times. What army has captured the most outposts?
Yeah.
Those are just stats. Like how is that? That's not arena. That's not esports. That's not. It's just stats, and stats are interesting.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of people like that kind of stuff, and it's kind of a carrot in its own, where it's like you want to be the best you can.
Yeah, you can set your own goals. You
Strive.
can set your own. Yeah.
You could either you could be #1, or you could be like, I want at least a 2.1 KDR, which depends on who you're playing against, I guess. And then another hot discussion that's going on is still, and it will be probably for a while, is crafting. And
which part of crafting?
Well, the random
Too many hot discussions on crafting.
There's a lot of hot discussion.
So hot right
I think the biggest one.
Crafting is so hot right now.
Everyone loves crafting. Crafting's completely fine.
Oh yeah. Okay. well, so the topics that I've heard brought up multiple times are the randomization.
The random prefixes, the lottery, like insert resources, get random result.
Yeah.
That's hyperbole in my opinion. There are some set results, but
it's a valid concern though. Like I put in all this effort to get all this stuff, and I built this thing, and I waited 20 hours to craft this thing, and then got the thing I didn't really want. That's a valid concern, and we're talking about it.
Yeah.
There are many different ways to solve that problem. Some are better than others. Some introduce new problems, so we have to weigh the differences.
Problems. Just leave it. It's fine. I'm just kidding, guys. I'm just kidding. But yeah, so there you have it. It's stuff we have to look at. I mean, also we've been working heavily on this patch, this update that's coming out, Elemental Destruction.
1.1.
So, well, it's stuff that we're also going to be focusing on as we go on. Know what I mean? Sure.
They're bringing up the other concern. That's the reason I asked which was the hot topic, because the other concern that I've heard brought up a lot was the costs.
Right.
Which are also being looked at.
They're fine.
And figured out. That's something that really requires stats to figure out.
Yeah.
Because while one person may find it extremely difficult to get these resources, the majority of people have no problem collecting the resources. So looking at average daily income of the resources required, how many are being sold in the marketplace, how many are available in the world at any given time, that's all kind of added to that. So while it may be difficult for Brandon to collect all these things, Sarah could be like, oh, I'm sitting on billions, so what's the problem? It's just because Brandon hasn't really made the effort, or he hasn't found it or been lucky enough to get it, or he's not using the methods that Sarah is to get it. So we have to balance out.
Figure it out.
That's not to say it's correct. I'm just saying there are many things to look at.
Right.
And Sarah's just better at the game than Brandon.
Oh.
Truth hurts.
Do we have heads up? All right, so what we're going to do, with that being said, I'm sure that sparked a lot of questions. We have, oh my God, we have a queue. This is amazing.
Wow.
Let's start. What?
We're hoping it works.
Oh, yeah,
Hang on, I got to turn my...
And turn your comms on. We're going to go right into some live questions.
Moved to your channel.
And we got Lane. Lane 1.
Hey.
Yes.
Hey.
Yes.
I am a genius, Lane. How are you?
Not too bad. Actually, I was laughing because at first I thought it was the guys in the other section that are talking, and I was like ignoring it, and I'm like, oh wait, no, it's them.
Order.
How you doing, man?
Oh, not much. I did have a question about the fusion cannon, the thermal one that we have. We noticed that the main fire shoots out, but it shows a visual of a splash, but there's actually no splash damage.
That's the, is that the Kanaloa?
I believe so. I
Yeah,
picked
it's
it up
the
when I was
thermal
doing the
fusion.
PTS.
Yeah.
PTS.
Oh, so no, that's the new thermal prefix, the new weapon modification. So that would probably just be a bug.
Yeah, sounds like it.
I mean, the fusion cannon doesn't have a AOE. It's super tiny though.
Tiny.
It's like less than a meter or a meter, so it shouldn't be
like your
noticeable.
knees.
So if you're seeing it like you're doing a big splash, that would just be a bug.
Mm-hmm.
It's just using the
okay.
wrong particle effect, or it's not scaling properly as part of the particle effect. So that's an easy fix. I'll check on it when I get back to the office as well. I'll let Seth know.
He'll probably fix it himself, too.
True. I've been getting my hands dirty in the design tool lately. It's kind of fun. It's fun fixing issues.
It is.
Like I fixed an issue last night that I was really excited about.
Was that the one you hinted at me to note,
Yes.
and then I noted it? It was,
Personal shield stacking.
that's what it was, personal shield stack.
No more invulnerable rhinos, rhino people.
Yeah,
No more
yeah, we got your number.
invulnerable rhinos.
We got all your numbers.
I figured that crap out.
To me, it sounds like you're giving everyone free reign to blame you for nerfing.
Yep, I nerfed the rhino personal shield
No, you fixed it.
because you can't stack it now.
They're going to call it nerfing, so I'm
course
just
they
going to
are.
call it what they're going to call it.
No, that's fine. Anybody that didn't realize that was a bug, yeah, you're kind of abusing something.
We also fixed the rate of fire issue with the thermal rifle, whatever, the Tesla rifle from Kanaloa.
Yeah.
So rate of fire mods with it. So
Yes.
that's gonna get fixed.
That's
Woo!
buffed. That's a bug
They got a
fix
buff.
that buffed it.
Anyways,
Give and take.
Phobos gives and Phobos takes away.
oh my God. Do you have another question for
I
us, Lane?
fixed two things.
Well, actually, if I got something, if you need to fix, I showed it actually to Programmer yesterday.
Okay.
Cupcake. His name's
the
Cupcake. Can you please say you showed it to Cupcake?
Yeah, Cupcake.
yeah,
That's
I
fine.
showed it to Cupcake.
Thank you.
Frank, you're gonna always be my cupcake, okay?
Oh.
What did you show to Cupcake?
The Bio Needler. I noticed that if you have the poison perk, it's actually taking the effect of poison perk.
That's
and
not a
yet,
bug.
If you, oh, it's actually supposed to be doing that.
Yes, the Needler is poison. It deals poison damage. I actually ran into Dave and Kirk talking about this, and Dave's like, "No, it's not a bug. I think all the biotech weapons
Biotech
do
archetype weapons should be
poison."
chemical or poison based. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because I looked at the stats on that and I noticed that it didn't even say anything about being poison.
Yeah, that's one thing that we're still working on overall is a pass on all tooltips to really sell what they are and make it more clear that this is electrical, this is chemical, this is fire, and so that you can really see quickly. Also, like who's the manufacturer and that's a big pass the UI team wants to do, but as always, UI is overloaded with tasks that they have to do, and this is kind of a lower priority issue, but sooner or later we will get into all the tooltips, like what type of weapon damage. It might not be like a text line, but it could be something cool, like the background shows like frost if it's, or fire if it's thermal, something like that. Like we had some really cool suggestions on the forums that people were doing to put like icons in there and other things. So
I remember that one.
Wukash, who's been on the show before, has seen those and thought of some ideas. We're super swamped with other things for UI, like army management tools.
Ooh. Yeah, we had that meeting earlier this week talking about where he was showing us like the comps for all the new screens. Looks really good. We talked to a lot of armies actually about what they wanted to see for army management and their army interface, and we got a big list, and we actually packed quite a lot of those features into that. So it's going to be awesome. Cool.
Well, thank you very much, Lane.
Thanks, Lane.
Later.
Oh, not a problem.
User was moved out of your channel.
Wrong one.
Who'd you move?
No, I moved into the wrong channel.
Oh.
Let's see. Move to the channel. No, wrong one.
We're on this, guys.
We have too
User
many
was
channels
moved to your
though.
channel.
We have Klappstuhl.
Hello, everyone.
Hey.
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, I'm doing fine. How are you?
I'm doing well.
We're
all
all
right,
doing
so
fantastic.
here comes my first question.
All right.
So a thing I've been wondering about since the raid started, all the raids. What about the campaign tokens? When will we be able to use it, and what will we be able to get for it?
The campaign tokens or the Titan tokens?
Both. Oh, excuse me. Both.
Well, what campaign tokens are you getting? There shouldn't be any campaign tokens.
I think you get them when you do the Warfront raid.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're basically just like the other vouchers that are throughout the world that they're supposed to be used to buy additional equipment. So it's a way. So for instance, in the raids, like there's only 7 pieces of equipment that can drop, right? And if you're in a raid, with 20 people, you might not get anything. So we want to make sure that every single time you raided, you got something. And in this case, it's a token that will then have a vendor associated with it. To be honest with you, the fact that the tokens are even in right now was a bug. But we left them in because, who cares? It's not really that big
Let's just
of a
start
deal.
collecting them.
Because the vendors and the stuff for those vendors are not available yet, but you can only get 1 token every week anyway. So it wasn't that big of a deal. We're not like, hotfix this thing out. So right now you're just collecting them until we can get the rest of the pieces in place to do that. So,
all right. Yeah,
so I can't give you an
thought
exact
so, but
date, but we're building new and cooler things to buy off of vendors that will be able to use those things. So for now, just collect them.
yeah, cool. Thank you. Here's the second question. Is there any chance pets will ever become useful in combat or PvE overall?
Pets?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Or
we talked
something
about
similar.
multiple ways to make them useful without being game breaking. That's the key, right? We don't want to make something that's red being purchased be like really awesome and everybody needs it. We also don't want them to be annoyance, right? Where they're causing problems for other players. But it would be cool to have them do something. We have many ideas. It's just time. So right now it's not a priority to figure that out. They're just visual upgrades, basically.
I did.
Yeah.
I did see something on a whiteboard of like some concept of it, which was just a discussion happening, but nothing solidified. Just kind of looking at what might be possible. But I know it's not on the top of priority right now because we're trying to work on new
Was it
things
the one
for
where
you
you
guys.
get to kick them across the map?
Oh, where they go.
Oh, I really wish that we had like a single shot of Brandon's face when he was doing that. It was incredible. Incredible.
So basically, this is a yes. There will possibly be a use for those.
Well, yeah, it's a yes. There possibly will
Talk
be.
about it.
So it's not.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
ultimately,
So-
if we
so
decide
can
that
just-
there's nothing we want to do that's going to make it. Now, that doesn't mean there aren't going to be something to do with them, but whether that's a useful thing or just a fun thing is up in the air. We want pets to be more
Alright.
interesting because, hey, it's something that we can sell and make money off of, so absolutely. But we want to make sure that they're interesting and cool, and but not be overpowered. So gameplay effects, I don't know. Some kind of effect, sure, yeah, at some point.
I would love to see a
Yeah, that
pet
would
that
be
goes
very
collect
awesome.
our loot for us.
That's
That would
what
be cool.
one of the ideas we talked about is being able to pick up all the crystite and
Yeah.
drops and things like ammo and things like that. But we'll see.
Pets should be homing bombs, targeting the nearest enemy. I'll let you pitch that on the PvP forums.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Thanks a lot for your question.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thanks,
Okay.
man.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the new stuff that's coming up next week. So keep up the good work and see you next time.
Great, thank you.
See ya.
Bye.
So in case you missed
User
the
was
news,
moved out of your channel.
version 1.1, it's called Elemental Destruction, coming out Tuesday. It's going to be awesome.
It's gonna be pretty awesome.
User was moved to your channel.
I pulled in Ronina.
Ronina,
Hey, Ronana.
Hey, how's it going?
good, how are
Good
you?
man, how are you?
So I have a lot of questions, but we'll take as many as we can. I'll give you them. So to start, we've got this kind of issue where last week Adrian was talking about designing around the 5 archetype frames. But the problem is that some frames cover more than one archetype, not only as good as the original archetype, but also like as good as several other archetypes. For example, like Raptor is able to do like some of the best single target damage. It's got some of the best self-healing. It's got some of the it's got the best buffing and the best debuffing. And it's got pretty solid AoE between its abilities and the passive Corpse Explode on its killing blows. So it's just like, that's covering almost like 4 out of the 5 archetypes. And so it's like, that's a pretty serious balance issue that's going to require like shuffling of abilities rather than just tweaking values.
Potentially. It really depends on what we want the archetype to do and what. So when you say it has the best AoE as if that covers an archetype, I assume you're thinking the Assault, but the Assault's not an AoE archetype, it's a movement archetype. So the Assault's all about getting around quickly. It's Afterburner, Trailblaze, Thermal, or Inferno Dash, all of the movement abilities are on the Assault. So to say that it's all about AoE is not true. Fusion Cannon has almost no AoE associated with it besides its Alt-Fire that moves
Except for its Alt-Fire.
so slow that you almost can't hit anything unless it's a stationary target. So I understand the Raptor right now is OP. I'll say it flat out. It's OP.
What?
I think everybody knows that it's OP. The question is how do we fix it without nerfing it into the ground? And the true definition of nerf and making it like a Nerf gun, right? That is what we have to balance out. And it's still a discussion that's happening and figuring out what we can do without taking away all the things that make it fun, while also making it a unique and styled and fun class that has its own special niche to fill. There are questions like that, and we're still working them out. And it'll be something ongoing forever to try to make sure that we have classes that feel unique, but also fit a niche and are also useful enough in enough scenarios that it doesn't feel like you're weak or useless when you're just playing the game by yourself. That's a challenge that I think every game faces with classes is how do we make classes useful when you're alone, but also fit a role within a group and not fill too many roles within a group. And I agree that the Raptor kind of jumps over a lot of those barriers. And I don't know how to fix it. we're still working on that. That's a big discussion.
Big.
Yeah, I mean, what other games have done has been like sort of a hybrid tax where it's just like, yeah, you can cover 3 roles, but you're not going to be as good as, say, an assault at movement in AoE or as healing as a dragonfly.
Mm-hmm.
Another question. So when cooldowns got moved up to 45 seconds, all the cooldown reduction perks were set values back when they were 15-second cooldowns on average, like 500 quality. So now they're about a third of the effect that they used to be. Mm-hmm. Is it like a technical issue where like we're having difficulty switching it to the 20% value rather than just like the minus 3 seconds?
We wanted it to be percentage based because different classes have different usefulness with the percentage. It's a question. That's a great question for Steve. I don't know the answer why it's completely honest for a 20% versus 3 second. Not all abilities are 45 seconds. Some are 60, some are 45. Some have charges that then cool down, some don't. Finding a module that works for all those, and it doesn't feel like that's the only module you can use, is tough. It's another thing that is going to be ongoing.
No, I'm not talking about modules. I'm talking about the healing perk, for example, is minus 3 seconds, and that was 20% back when it was a 15-second cooldown, so that was 20% off.
Yeah.
Now the cooldowns are 45 seconds, and now it's only a 6.3% off.
That's something that's just a balance. We went through and balanced all the perks, but then we also went through and balanced everything. So we changed a lot of things, and it's going back through and making sure that everything gets adjusted.
So it was an intended reduction by 66%.
It was intended when it was first changed from 20 to 30, but then we changed cooldowns as well and didn't go back and change it. Does that make sense?
Are you talking about the cooldown reduction modules?
No, I'm talking about the perks. Perks were adjusted before we even changed our system. So
okay, but these perks weren't. These were always a minus 3 seconds. Back when the cooldowns were 15 seconds.
Right, but the perks were balanced around that old system. We created a new system and didn't go back through and balance all the perks. You'll notice that in our latest patches, we've been doing adjustments to perks every single patch. It's because every single time we're going through and reworking those perks and making sure everything works and everything is working properly, that they blend properly, that they have the right values set. It's an ongoing process that will take some time. There's a lot of perks. There's a lot of abilities those perks can affect.
So are you saying that it's more of an ongoing process and these just haven't gotten adjusted yet?
Possibly. I don't know. Again, I would have to talk to the combat designer that's actually going through and balancing and say, have you looked at this one and is that where you want it to be?
Yeah, because I mean, everything else got changed to percentages, and so it scales with the new changes, except for a couple of these perks.
For the most part, with damage and things like that, you want it to scale, you want it to have a percentage, but cooldowns is a set value. So I could see the argument for, no, it's a set value. It's set, this is how much it does. It's a question for the designer that does it, and I'm sorry I can't answer the question to your satisfaction.
No worries. Another thing is random prefixes on crafting.
We
should move on.
Earlier.
Yeah, we did on the random prefixes.
Yeah.
I do want to move on. I know you have a lot of questions, but I want to get to a few other people. Plus, we have the forum questions as well. So I want to make sure that we get through those. So I'm sorry, but I'm going to cut you off there. Thank you for calling in, though, Ronina.
No problem. See you next PAX East.
All right, man. You got it.
User was moved out of your channel.
All righty.
User was moved to your channel.
Uh-oh. We're losing the freaking thing. Did you hear that?
Yeah, it just got quiet.
Lasting Longbow, can you hear us?
I can hear you.
All right, we got it. Awesome.
How's it going?
I'm doing well.
Good.
Good. What can we do for you today?
My question, well, I've been out of the loop for a week or two. I'm wondering if there's any way to get drift while driving an LGV. I've been told that tapping the spacebar for the handbrake works, but that only brings me down to 0 speed instead of making me drift.
Yeah, it's more of a power slide than a drift. So like you can pull the handbrake and turn at the same time and do a slide, but it stops you.
Yeah.
There's not really a good way to like drift around corners and keep your speed currently.
And I don't think we want to
That's
touch.
what I'm interested.
I don't think we want to touch the LGVs in that fashion. Just 'cause,
Yeah,
like,
I mean that is something that we haven't done. We haven't really talked about adding. LGVs are a very touchy subject with people. Anytime we make an adjustment, people tend to react strongly, positively or negatively. It is something that we've talked about adding more race mechanics. So when we start to do those kind of things, it's possible that could get added as a fun feature to add. But currently, we're not looking to do a drift.
touch the LGVs.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
That's the question I have.
Thank you very much. Thanks for calling in.
I'm going to take one more, and then we'll do a quick round of the what I pulled in from the forums.
User was moved out of your channel.
One more.
User was
Lingy.
moved to your channel.
Lingy, hi.
Lingy.
Hey guys.
Hey, Lingy.
Hey.
All right, so I've got two good questions. One actually stems from the slightly earlier discussion. I'm really happy with how the quality of life changes have been happening for abilities, but I'm actually curious when and if the Electron's going to be getting more love soon.
What is your main concern with the Electron?
Well, this actually goes back a little to what Rodina was talking about, how some of the frames seem to do a lot of things better than other frames. Mm-hmm. It seems like the Electron is sort of a step, like here's step one, here's the Electron, here's step two, here's the Raptor. It seems to do a lot of things, but it doesn't really shine, and so many people are having problems with the frame, and I'm such a big advocate for the frame. I love it to death. But it seems like it's just falling short in almost everything it does.
Well, and that goes back to what we were talking about earlier, is that if you try to make something that does everything and doesn't do it well, then yeah, it won't feel like it has its own uniqueness. It won't feel like it has its niche, and that's the difficulty. So trying to figure out a way to make that its own thing. Now, the Electron was built really about a skill-based shooter type aspect, the rail rifle, the Tesla rifle, or shock rail, whatever we call it now. It's gone through so many names. It's really about pinpoint accuracy and doing that damage. It's about buffing your teammates and running around. So it's a little bit different. It's a little bit of a more action-oriented versus the other engineers, which are about placing things and defending things. He's more of a get up in your face and go take the charge to the enemy. So it does play a little bit differently, but I can understand where people would be like, it doesn't really do what I want it to do. So suggestions are always welcome. We're not currently doing a pass on each battle frame. So before Zeno left, he was doing taking one frame, doing a whole pass, and then moving on to the next frame, doing a whole pass, moving on to the next frame. Right now, we're kind of in fix-it-all mode. So as things come up, we touch everything, we try to get things going. I was talking to Frank about this yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
We at one point, not in the too distant past, we had a dearth of content designers. We were limited on number of content designers, and we were slow to produce content, and getting just stuff in the game was slow. And we had a lot of system and combat designers that were sitting there tweaking numbers and everything. People were always like, why you keep touching all this stuff and you keep making changes to battle frames, but you're not releasing content. Release content. We hired on all these content developers, and we finally got a rhythm where we're releasing content. And then we lost some of our combat and system designers. So now we're kind of limited on how many people can touch those things. So we're hiring back up there to try to get more people to help, which will help make some of these changes faster and help make some of these changes more cohesive across the board and less feeling like you're just touching this thing instead of touching the whole system. So we're still hiring for those positions. It will be a little slow for the time being and until we can get those guys in and taught up on all the tools and get them going. But we have tons of content designers now. They're pumping out content like crazy. And now we're looking for the systems and combat guys.
That's right. RedFightStudios.com/jobs.
Like I'm seeing a lot in chat right now after I mentioned this, especially Bergrammer. Everybody loves when I play my Electron because, you know, it's shield gung-ho.
Right.
Yeah.
Just it does feel like it's starting to lack a little there too. A little.
Is that because
Like
you feel like somebody else is taking that role from you?
Not so much. Like you pair an Electron and a Mammoth together, it's shields for days. It feels amazing, but I don't know. It seems like after the cooldown changes and the modules were set to 20% rather than 40%, it feels like the cooldowns are really long and the shields, they don't sustain very much. If you're gonna have a support, it feels more beneficial to bring an extra Dragonfly along or something else. So
yeah, no, I can see that. I can see that, and that's a valid suggestion. I mean, that you're absolutely right with the cooldown changes that made it less powerful because you can't drop your shields as much. You can't do your support role as much as you can previously. So we could do what we did with Afterburner and do like a charge system where you have multiple charges on one of those, and then we tweak the numbers to make it viable, but still you can do it more often.
I've actually been suggesting that Boomerang Shot should get charge deployment module accessibility.
Yeah, so I mean that's a possibility. I'll pass it along to Steve, who's currently doing most of the balance changes, and see what he thinks.
That would be amazing.
Sweet.
That would just make my day.
Yeah.
And that pretty much answered my other question too. Like, I'm pretty good with that. I love what you guys are doing. Just keep doing it.
Cool. Thank you very much, man.
Thank you for having me.
User was moved out of your channel.
Cut him off.
Oh.
Boop. Sorry, Lingy. But let's get into some of the some of the questions for the lightning round we got here. We've pretty much already touched on a lot of this stuff. Someone on Twitter, sorry, Fairies Huff from Twitter asked or mentioned Arsenal abilities are somewhat boring except for the shoulder rockets and particle beam. Will they be changed? I mean, that's something I could say. Will they be changed? No, you're not going to get new abilities.
Probably not. I mean, I think that
it's unlikely.
Abilities are really a personal choice, and that's why when we add new abilities, we tend to add them to the archetype. So you can mix and match and change things how you want. All archetypes have 2 additional abilities that can be used across any. We're adding a couple more. We'll keep adding more. That way you can kind of fine-tune your things. I love Rocket Jump on my Arsenal.
Yeah.
I use it all the time. Shotgun, I use it a little bit less, but it's really great for, like, I ran out of ammo, hit it, boom, 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 whatever's in front of me is dead.
Noxon likes combat shotgun.
Yeah. I think it really depends on the type of player you are that determines whether you use a certain ability or not, and so it's kind of hard to say this ability should go away or should change. I think all the abilities have their uses.
Yeah.
Maybe not in every situation, and so that's another thing we've talked about is having loadouts like we used to have in the past, so that you could switch up and have a quick switch to. I have my raiding group, my raiding loadout, my PvP
with
loadout,
perks.
a loadout would be everything.
Yes.
So that's something we've talked about. Again, it all comes down to time and what we're working on. But that I think that would help a lot with those people. The people like this class. Instead of saying the class has this problem, it would be this loadout has this problem.
Yeah.
So.
Jonesy asked on the forums, since hazardous research event's going to end soon, which is today, is the last day. When will we see permanent new additions as far as dynamic encounters go?
Next patch.
Yeah. It's
1.1 patch out Tuesday. 5 additional dynamic encounters added. One of them is part of the next live event. So hazardous research was a live event. Next live event, codename Crossfire, starts next Friday, and one of the encounters is part of that. But it will return after the event as an exclusive encounter to Devil's Tusk.
And the cool thing about stuff like hazardous research and codename Crossfire is this is stuff we can continue to keep doing. So we will be adding more, like was mentioned, we'll be adding more dynamic events, but we're also going to keep doing these live events, so it's like a little different every so often.
Once the encounters are built, they can be kicked on and turned off whenever.
Yeah.
So we're like, hey, it's Wednesday. Let's do hazardous research Wednesday. Boop, done. Turn it on.
Yeah.
Everybody has fun. Now it's off.
Yeah, that's the great thing about them.
I think that's actually, we are like, we're hoping to have Sunken Harbor back, the Home Gang Challenge back, which runs Tuesdays at 5 p.m. for 24 hours. And then we are looking at bringing hazardous research back as a event like that as well. So stay tuned as we kind of work out those details.
Rhiney asked on the forums. Rhiney was also sitting in the one person I left behind. How many poses can Phobos get into in order to make new gifts for the thread?
I think I've done enough.
I know. I asked him if we had any confetti, and he said no, and my heart was broken.
Oh.
We have these blue crystals.
That'll hurt.
Yeah. He's like pulling them out, bleeding all over the place. Pure Mew asked, and this is the last one we'll ask, and then we'll get into the news. But any chance of getting back the Chosen activity in Coral Forest invasions, full takeovers, or maybe a hardcore version of Coral Forest that has all that activated and more difficult enemies? He's like,
There's your gift right there.
That's it. I'm not going to say anything about it.
all right. Well, you got your answer, I think.
Kinda.
Can we put a hashtag on that?
Hashtag
confirmed.
Matt Grin. I don't know.
Matt Grin.
I don't know.
Actually, we'll be talking about something pretty soon. Not soon. Sooner than soon, TM? I don't know. What's our definition of soon,
My
TM?
job is just to squash fun.
Squash it.
Squash it.
Squish.
Squash is fun.
Actually, if you've seen on PTS, we are kind of testing out some Chosen shenanigans. PTS. That's all I'm saying.
What the hell is going on here?
That's all I'm saying.
So yes, news PTS. We are still testing stuff for the September 16th patch that is up. You can sign up for you do have to sign up for PTS. You can use the same email address, but you have to create an account. It's a whole different environment, different databases, different servers. So you have to start a new character and stuff like that. But come help us test. We have hazardous event research. Obviously, it ends today. Just mentioned that. And Mika's going to be holding a community event. I think she's actually already starting.
Yeah, Oceanic was last night.
Oceanic was. I was talking about like now. I think she starts at noon.
Yeah, 12.
So in about an hour.
The EDT time slot is at noon.
And then 4 p.m. Pacific.
Yeah.
So Mika's going to be giving a good old send off for the hazardous research event.
Yeah.
The Codename Crossfire one's coming up. That's not this Sunday, but the one following, I believe.
Starts Friday. Starts next Friday at 5 p.m. We are still finalizing the rewards for it, but it's really interesting how this one works. Whereas you can participate daily and get an reward each day, and then if you complete it a certain amount of times over the whole course of the event, I forget the exact number. It's in the blog, so check it out. You'll get a bigger reward, which is really cool. So it rewards you for continuously playing it.
Eclectic Gamer, yes, Omnidine tokens will be used in future events.
Pre-traumatic stress syndrome.
We have a contest this Sunday, social media contest.
Yep, that's on here.
Share a screenshot. Full details are on firefall.com, but basically on Sunday between 12:01 a.m. and 11:59 p.m. You can share a screenshot on Facebook and share a screenshot on Twitter. They could be the same screenshot. You can, but you can only do that once. And there's details on what you need to include in either your Facebook post or your tweet. And 2 winners will be selected at random, 1 from each channel, to win awesome rocket gear, keyboard, headset, mouse, and mouse pad, and a digital deluxe edition of Firefall.
Sweet.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's a good
lot
chunk
of
of change. So
Massively.com has released an exclusive Firefall devlog by Rudy Kazuti.
Rudocracy.
Johnsu just drew me.
Did you actually do the voice of this? I know you did the voice in the video.
It was me.
It was, it was me. I got the more PvE part.
And they're posting another one today. We got the part 2 of the blog going out today.
Part 2.
So
that will be outlining a lot of the weapons and mods changes and stuff like that. And last but not least, Arsenal Weekend starts today.
The return of the Advanced Battle Frame
Speaking of the
weekend.
arsenals, yes. So everyone gets to play the arsenal for free if you don't already have one. You also get a 25% XP bonus, and it's also 25% off in the Red Bean store. So get your arsenals up, get your arsenals ready. If you need those perks, now's the time.
Yep.
Matt's just looking all weird. Matt, get your arsenal up.
Brad just said he wore the Morningstar costume, and it's giving me the worst mental image.
Oh, no.
No, don't
Scott
worry,
did
guys.
it?
The Morningstar costume is safe in the crate over here. He has not touched it. I thought you were looking at me like for saying get your arsenals up.
No. And then Josh confirmed it. Blah.
They wore it together.
Oh, God.
Josh wore Michelle's and
That is
Brad
way
wore Crystal's.
Way too much ass cheek. Than we need
Okay,
to see
I
right
feel like hashtag your mom's gonna have a heart attack if we don't mention the dating sim idea.
Yeah,
So
but we
check
did
out-
that like
Yeah.
2-3 years ago.
Just look at his forum thread. There, promoted.
Firefall dating sim.
Yeah, I saw the thread where everybody voted no.
Oh.
I squashed that fun.
Squash.
What's the what are you talking about 3 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago?
Remember the whole like
Well, yeah,
the
Firefall
live stream
started out. I mean, Red 5 was founded on making a dating sim.
Yeah.
Yeah, that turned into Firefall.
Yeah. So I mean, we've
So
already
done.
implemented. Checkbox. We've already covered that in the previous live stream.
Yep.
So, but that's all the news. So what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna do Matt's favorite segment, which is Do You Even Art Bro T-shirt
favorite
edition.
segment.
It's your favorite segment. I'm telling you, it's your favorite segment. So, I don't know. Sarah's just sitting here squishing.
Do you even art, bro?
Alrighty, so this week we're doing the T-shirt edition, which is the
I love these.
fan art challenge from last month. Oh my god!
These are so cool. We have some these are awesome.
Yeah, they are awesome. I love this.
I want
This first
them
one's
now.
from Fire Moth.
Fire Moth looks really cool.
There's this.
Now the problem is wouldn't you have to print all that, or you have to get a custom shirt made with?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I wonder if you can do that.
that's definitely an esports shirt.
It's sexy.
I like it though.
Yeah.
I
I
think
like
it's cool.
blue.
Next,
Children,
this is from
welcome.
Asteria.
You are so very far from your home. Why?
Do you know the funny with this?
Oh, I got to the part. The wolf and the goat.
The wolf
Yeah.
and the goats.
Good old Graves.
Good old Graves.
Okay.
Alrighty. Next up, Squeak and Orca.
I'd wear the one on the left.
I know you would. So would Cupcake. What's his name? Kirk. That's his name.
Kurt.
This one is from Wyveris,
Nice to
the
meet you.
Peacemaker. Nice to meet you.
That's a big gun.
That's a big gun. That's
That's
what I
a
was just thinking.
big ass mammoth gun. Next up, we have this one's from T Crusader.
Crater.
Nice.
Now,
Yeah, I like this.
It's still
these-
recharging though.
I like these kinds of designs because it's like I mean,
Simple. You don't.
Yeah, it's really simple. Maybe the crater's a little too big, but I like it.
You can never have too big of a crater.
It's a good point. Next up, we have this one's from Badly Burned, and I think that's all his Badly Burned characters, which I also like. It's really good. Next up, we have an entry from Ganos Lau.
Mad Max.
Mad Max. And then we have an entry from Iron Monies. It's pretty cool.
Took me a second to figure out what the dots were when I first saw this. I'm like, oh, never mind, I get it.
Redacted.
Then we have one by Nacchiato, or 4 by Nacchiato.
Wow.
Combine them all. Now I like these because I like having like a backpack on my back.
Mm-hmm.
I like that idea.
What is the AS
What do you mean the AS?
on the tiki mask? Back of the tiki mask.
Oh, that's his initials.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, Nacchiato's initials.
Is that how he really writes his initials?
I don't know. It's probably a design version.
Oh, it's kind of cool.
Next up, we have Cynics. He made 5 of them as an example.
Yeah, I like these style shirts. I actually tried to make an Arsenal shirt before I came on the show. Because I always tell people I modeled the Arsenal. It was modeled after me.
The blue and gold kind of remind me of Star Trek
Yeah, kind of.
uniforms.
So
The mammoth's the captain.
No, it's a good thing. I like it.
put some dots.
I
on
like
it.
the red 5 tag, like right where that is.
Ooh, good eye. I didn't even see
Yeah.
that.
I'd wear the Raptor one. Or Electron. And then last but not least, we have an entry from FitMip.
So that's an epic mustache.
That is an epic, yes. Dapper Duel. That's what I'm calling this
A
shirt.
Dapper Duel.
Dapper Duel. So, Sarah, you get to kick it off.
1 vote for everyone.
That's a lot of votes this week. That's 11 votes.
Does that mean Nagiola gets 4 votes though?
No.
Okay.
No.
Oh, God.
I'm gonna have to go squeaking.
Orca, Blame Pez 2014.
And the
You May Be Chosen.
Yes. I love the simplicity, and they're funny.
Matt,
I have to go for the Mustang.
the Mustang, Fire Moths.
Yeah, Fire Moths.
Brandon,
The first one, the one that was in blue, the custom.
Fire Moths.
Yeah, that was what it was.
That's 3 votes for Fire Moth. I was going to vote for Cynics, actually. I was going to vote for Batman.
This was really just a test to see whether Sarah was right or wrong. She was wrong.
Watch out. She will hit you with that ring.
She's the destroyer of worlds.
Yes, look at that thing.
Oh, my God.
I'm pretty sure you'd hurt your finger more than you probably hurt me.
I don't know. This thing is pretty hefty.
Yeah. To hit hard enough to make
What if
that-
I go in your
Yeah,
ear?
okay, if you went in my ear.
Right in your ear.
Yeah, that would probably hurt.
All right.
I would-
So I was going to vote for Cynics. I'm voting for Cynics anyway, because I really like those.
Batman.
Battle. But majority rules, Fire Moth takes it this week.
I want that one now.
Fire Moth, you'll be going to compete for 80 whole red beans. I know people say that's not enough for the time and effort people put into their artwork. Duly noted, we were not changing that in the middle
Previously,
of the season.
we
though.
didn't give you really anything.
We give
I
them.
think you
We,
got a
we sent
signed
them a signed poster. So
It was worth it then.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Sarah will come give you a hug.
Yep. Free hugs.
Free hugs.
You pay for airplane, and
For air flying.
Air
but
flying.
not sea flying.
air flying. No sea flying.
No sea flying.
She can't sea fly.
I'll barf everywhere.
Alrighty. That's great.
You're
Moving along.
welcome.
Moving along. Every week on Facebook, if you follow us, facebook.com/Firefall, or like us, whatever you have to do on Facebook, we post a picture. We like to post a candid photo of stuff happening in the office. And we want you to caption that picture, and we'll show our favorites, some of our favorites. We had like 91 comments on this last one, so it's like we usually show like up to 7. So here's me reading the bar tab at.
Did someone really order a Shirley Temple?
No, I don't.
Frank did.
I would. They're delicious.
That would have been me,
They
but
are
it would have been
delicious.
spiked.
Yeah.
First up, we have. Yes. Seriously, who had the Shirley Temple?
Frank did.
I did
Frank
not have a
did.
Shirley Temple. I had Long Island iced
okay.
teas and the red ales.
Minus the Long
They were
Island.
very good.
Long Island.
Next up, we have time to ban these people. These people from the
Yay!
show.
No.
No?
No. Fine, if you want to sit in here and sweat all by yourself when it's hot.
It is
Oh, that's
We're
right. I
in
like to
this
share.
together.
I like to share this misery. Next up, we have. So this is obviously my list of drinks. Did you guys want anything? Yeah.
Sharing is caring, Frank.
Next up, we had screams internally, which kind of happened. Ah! That wasn't internal. That was a very external scream.
Yeah.
And it wasn't really that much of a scream.
No, it's half-hearted.
Next up, we have still shorter than the bug list.
Hey-o.
That's true.
Hey-o.
We're gonna need a little more paper.
One time, Matt was printing out, it was like a list of tasks for everybody, and he sent it to the printer, and I went to go use the printer next. And I was waiting for like 3 hours for everything to print. He printed it like 4 times, and it was a billion pages of tasks for people.
I killed many trees that day.
Seriously, it was a stack of papers this high, and I brought it over to him, and I was like, dude, I need the printer.
Well, that's just when I ran out of paper. I had to go back and put more paper.
Yeah. You, like, destroyed all the rainforest in Brazil.
Yeah, well, they deserved it. What do
Cure for
trees do
Cancer
for
is
people?
lost.
I thought, yeah.
What?
Nothing. The pug list. Then sixth, we have, this is why the toilet seat was broken. The toilet paper is this size.
Ew.
We got to the bottom of that mystery, by the way. It was all Josh's fault. JB Will broke the toilet seat.
What'd you do?
And last but not least, we have Charge Pez 2014.
I like it. I like it.
But yes, JB Will got to the bottom of it. It was a friend of a friend, so it's his fault. That person did go back and pay the bar. And
wow.
paid for the seat.
What a pal.
So they were a sport. So solved. We probably can go back to Kells, although I don't know. I don't know if I'd go back. So that's our show for this week. Please join us next week. I don't know who's going to be our guest yet, but we're going to have one. I think.
I think so.
We're going to bring Matt back.
This is the last show.
This is the last show.
Ever.
Don't forget that Mika's doing her event in about an hour. So you're gonna want to sync up with her on that. Log in and play, and follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, Firefall.com, all that great stuff. We'll see you all next week.